people, today we're going to be making a bassline track like Denon from scratch. We're going to be making the song step by step together so you can see all the little bits that go into it. First thing we're going to do is look for a nice catchy vocal around 140 BPM, and the reason we're going for 140 BPM is because that's what most bassline tunes are at.
125 and I move with the friction.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me?
Okay, so we found a vocal. It's at 136 BPM, so we need to time stretch this to fit our 140 tempo. To do this, I'm going to set my project to 136. Click this little flex button here, turn the flex on. That's going to mean whatever BPM we change to, it's going to move to that. So if I put 140 now, it's going to stay in time for us. Then we can click this just to get rid of that.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me?
Now the way I like to start my bassline songs off is with the drums, just so then we don't have to listen to a metronome when we're making our bass lines and stuff like that, and it's just got the overall feel there. I'm going to jump into my Absolute Bassline Collection drum kit. Start with a nice kick, and we're simply going to layer that on each beat, 4 to the floor.
If you know that I got all the things you need.
Get a clap in, and that's going to go on beats 2 and 4. Should be sounding like this now.
If you know that I got all the things you.
Then we're going to put a hat in. That's going to go on the off beat, so in between our kick and snare, or kick and clap.
If you know that I got all the things you.
Then we're going to put a little bit of an offbeat snare in there as well, like this. Just give it a bit more movement.
If you know that I got all the things. If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back.
Then to give our drums a little bit more punch, I'm going to put them in a track stack like that. And I'm going to use the knock plugin to just give them a little bit more oomph.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you have. If you know that I got all the things you need out, but you come right back to the best you have.
Now you'll hear our drums have just got a little bit more personality, a little bit more oomph and vibe to them. Next we can start making our bass line. So we're in B flat minor. I like to use this wiki page to check what notes can play. So as you can see here, we've got B flat minor, and it means that these notes are going to be on the flat, which means the black keys on the keyboard. So to get that authentic bassline sound, we want to use the Reason Rack plugin, and we want to use Subtractor Analog Synth. Now obviously sound selection is very important when it comes to making these bassline tunes. I'm going to use my Pure Wobble Volume 1 preset pack, which is just 100 presets for bassline. So whatever key you're in, that's what note you usually want to start your bass lines on. So for example, we're in B flat minor, so we want to start our bass line on B flat minor. I like that bass for later, not going to use it for the start one though.
If you know that I got all the things you need. If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you have. If you know that I got all the things you.
Right, so I think we've got a decent sound and a nice little pattern going here, so I'm just going to record it in.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you have.
So to make sure our kick's cutting through, we want to sidechain our kick to our bass. I'm going to use kickstarts to do this, makes it super quick and easy. that actually works already as it is, but to make it a little bit more interesting, we could definitely add some variation with the bass, so let's try that out. We've got this sound that we found earlier. So I'm just going to try and move some of the notes onto this bass.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why the things you need, why you keep trying to hide? If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide? Got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to? If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from?
And let's maybe look for one more bass for that final little last bar.
Hide, trying to run from? Hide, trying to run from me? Why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from? Hide, trying to run from? Hide, trying to me? Why you keep trying to hide, trying to? If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from
I think that works.
me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you had.
We can do a similar thing to what we did with our drums. Put this in a bus together and then put a compressor on it. That's just going to glue all these sounds together.
Know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right.
That's going to keep everything nice and level, which will make mastering the tune easier and just makes your mix cleaner. So we've got our bass, we've got our drums. Next we can try add some strings in. So we can just drag this into our sampler here. It's already tuned to C, so we don't need to worry about retuning it. So maybe we want to follow our bass line a little bit with the melody, but we might not want to. But let's see, something like that.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to? If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from? If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run?
I think that works great.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from?
I'm going to use a plugin called RC20. It's a bit of a saturation plugin, just adds a little bit of a vibe to it.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from?
As you can hear, we've added a little bit of ambience to it. If we turn this off, turn it on. As you can hear, this tune's really starting to come together. We've almost got a drop here. I'm thinking just to add another melodic element, let's try add a little music box sound. This would work great. Put that in to our sampler as well. And we're just going to copy the RC20 over to it as well. And also we're sidechaining everything to the kick as well, but just below the certain frequencies, to make sure our kick's always cutting through. And the reason we copied the RC20 over is just so it feels like it's in the same song, if that makes sense. So I think we're going to need some delay on this sound as well, using H delay by Waves. Just going to get it on 8th notes.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run?
That's why it's sounding way off. So the root note on this pluck is actually set to E, so we need to come over to our quick sampler and click retune.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead.
Messed it up a little bit at the end, trying to get a variation in there, but we should be able to fix it nice and easy.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me?
Let's just solo that a sec.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me?
Now I'm just going to add a little bit more room reverb to our vocal because I think it's a bit too much in your face right now, so I just want to push it back into the mix a little bit.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you had.
So for this drop, I'd probably leave the bell out of the first half and then bring that in later.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you had. If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you had.
So that's our drop, other than it missing like a couple elements like an impact and a crash, but we'll add that in when we do our build up. Now when it comes to a bassline build up, super simple. If you want that Denon Reed style, is we just want to keep nice bits of melody in the intro. Maybe we add a little bit of bass, but for the most part we're just going to keep all the punch in the bottom end for the chorus. We can drag our hat and our snare over to the intro,
If you know that I got all,
and we can filter it in at the beginning
if you know that I got,
if we want.
if you know that I got all the things you need, why?
And just have that constantly building up to the drop. We're of course going to do the classic cut the last bar before the drop,
Back to the best you had.
and we're going to have our hat and snare filter in.
Talk it out, but you come right back to the best you had. If you know that I got all the things you
That's working great. We can tease our music box melody in the second half,
if you know that I got all the
and using the strings we had earlier, we're going to make some chords, and I'm actually just going to follow the bass notes chords. So to make this easy for myself, I'm going to drag the bass line in here like this, just copy it all over, join it as one, and then we know what chords to follow. Get rid of these first, these filler notes. So we've just got our main notes here. So we're just going to make chords out of this.
if you know that I got all the things you need, why hide trying to run? If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run?
So the chords feel a little bit all over the place in terms of like the pitching. So we can move like a lower note up like that and a high note down like that.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from?
Maybe we don't need that chord in the build up.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to?
That feels nicer even though it's simpler. We're getting really close now to having what feels like a bassline song. Now I feel like a bass needs to come in that second half of the intro. Maybe this will work from my bassline kit for Serum. Gotta make sure we're doing the right notes here because we move them about.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to?
That's great, just adding that little bit of extra low end.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from?
Then we can start bringing our kick in here.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you?
And we simply just want to build up the track, adding this kick in more and more. But you'll know where to place the kicks because it just feels like the natural thing to do. So listen to this.
If you know that I got all the things you need, why you keep trying to hide, trying to run from me? Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you had.
We could go a step further and double the kick up even more for that last bit.
Best you had.
When we're doing that, we want to highlight them, and you want to go over here and go to the fade out and just put 5, because if not you might get weird little clicky pops from where you've cut the audio, so that'll just make it sound cleaner. We're going to filter the low end out of the kick. If we have all that low end in before the drop, it's not going to make the drop hit as hard, if that makes sense.
The best you had.
It's probably a bit too much on the filter.
Go ahead, talk it out, but you come right back to the best you had.
Now final thing to add is some effects. Let's add this big impact. Makes that drop hit harder. Add a crash in there as well. We can layer a crash with our kick if we want. We also want a riser. Just make that build up feel even bigger. All these effects from the Absolute Bassline Collection kit, by the way. As you can hear, we're really starting to get there now. We could also add a snare build-up. The way I do this, just drag a snare into your quick sampler, create a pattern region, then we literally just want to fill all this in. Sorry for how loud that is. Now you're going to hear that doesn't sound very good as it is, so we can convert it to MIDI. Highlight it all, click A, draw it up like this on here. That's going to change the velocity so it's rising. You can go a step further, put a filter on it as well. This is just all about creating that build, building the tension, making it all rise together. Could also put a little bit of delay on it. Nothing too crazy though. 8th notes again. Just makes it sound a little bit cooler. We could also filter in some reverb on it. So that's the max we want it at, because we don't want it to be too muddy. And we just click at the end here, drag it down to nothing to start with. Now the final thing, because we've got everything else, is to add the iconic gunshots. So we want a reload sound first. There we go. And that there is simply how you can put together a bassline song. It's super easy, super simple. Hopefully you can replicate this. Hope it's helped you out. I'm going to play you the full tune now. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like, hit subscribe for more videos like this. New videos every Tuesday. Let me play you it now, and I'll see you in the next one.